Okay, y'all, here we go. I'm coming straight in for it. I'm gonna set a lot of you young folks free tonight. I'm really am. I'm gonna set you free tonight. I usually don't talk this raw, but I gotta talk a little bit raw tonight. Talking to a young couple that I know, and what a lot of you guys know, when you first get married and you're young, and you don't even have to be young. You can be at whatever age. And sometimes people come up to you and they'll say things like, the couple can be struggling with their mortgage, car note. They could be struggling left and right. And somebody come up and go, I'm going to give you $100 for your baby. But I don't want you to touch this money. I want you to put away for its college one day. And they say things like that to you. And you almost face an eviction, or you almost facing your car getting repossessed, and you can't even go to work, or you may not have gas money to go to work. Let me set you free. Spend that $100 on what you have to spend that $100 on. Be it food for the house, be it gas for the car. I'm gonna tell you something about folks, and I'm gonna be very serious. Number one, a lot of folks who ain't got kids, they don't know what it is. They don't know what it is. Number two, and I told you, I'm shooting straight. I usually don't shoot this raw, but I'm shooting. A lot of times, some people put men and women under fire just so they can talk about you. I gave them $200 last month, and they took it and spun it on food for the family instead of putting it away for them kids for the future. For the future. I can't get to the future unless I get through the present. We put a lot of our young people through false expectations just so we can have a reason to talk about them. And that is so disingenuous. It is so disingenuous and corny when we do things like that. When you see a young couple, and you can see they're struggling, you can look at somebody and tell when they're going through something. You don't have to sit there and put these false expectations on them and tell them, I'm going to give you $100, but put it away for the baby. The baby ain't going to make it to next week, because if I don't have gas money to get to work, I ain't getting to work, and we're going to get kicked out the crib. So you just want to say things like that in order so you can say, yeah, I tried to bless them, but they just do whatever they want to do. And what happened to the money I gave you 10 months ago? It'd be all this, all these little false things that we do with our people, especially, to young black men, to try to make them feel like they ain't real dads. And I'm so tired of hearing about, who's a real dad, who's not a real dad. Who made this list up? If you have a child, you're a real dad. We all have to get our character in line. So stop putting false expectations on people, making people feel like these young couples, they can't make it. We have to support these couples. We have to let them know. Sometimes I don't have to know if I go give you $100, I don't have to find out what you did with it. Everybody ain't smoking weed. Everybody ain't ordering on DoorDash 1,000,000 miles a minute. We need to stop and give our people some credit, give our people some support. You want to teach them something. Know what you do. If you don't trust the money in their hands, then you know what you do. You go with them somewhere, and you go with them to and you start up an IRA, help them start an IRA for them, and you put the money in there for them. You go down there together and get a little IRA going. And you put put the money in there for them. Outside of that, when the young couple first starting off, you don't know a lot of the bills that come up. Let me tell you, one of the first things I was so excited about when I had our children when we was young. One thing I got really excited about when I found out about the FSA card. Because when I would take my kids to the doctor, I had to have a copay, and the copay was maybe $25 a pop, and it was $50 every time I went to the doctor, and every time I turned around, I was going to the doctor with Daryl and Jordan, and it was $50. And I was like, man, that $50 was adding up left and right. And I found out about the FSA card, and where your employer take money out of your check, and they give you an advance on the card. So I make the I had put out maybe like a $500 on the card, and they take out money every week out of my paycheck in order to pay it. And every time I went to the doctor from then on, I would just swipe that card. It set me free in so many ways. But before that, it was like a struggle because it was $50. My copay was $25 a kid. And it seemed like when one got sick, the other one got sick. Well, the other one had the ailment, the other one had the ailment. And we would take them to the doctors together. But for us to, put these false demands and all this, on our young black people, leave them alone. I'm telling you, I'm trying to set you free tonight. Don't worry about all that mess people talk to you. If they want to give you some money for your kids, and they're talking about below $100 and $200 here, and talking about putting it away for college, and you don't have no money for food or gas, guess what? Buy your food or gas. Let there be no condemnation. You make a decision for your family. I'm tired of hearing about this false stuff. That's what the other people do. I'm not the other people. You're not the other people. This is about your household, young man. And don't let nobody tell you that you're not a man if you may not have enough money to do what you need to do. Everybody want to put you under these false expectations that they're not even fulfilling. Don't let nobody do that to you. Don't let nobody swindle you in that way. Who are they? Who are they to make up the criteria for a real man? You do what you have to do for your family. If you're driving Uber for your family, you drive Uber for your family. Don't let people out here tell you what you're not doing. Well, my daddy did this. Half of you don't even know your daddy. So stop lying and trying to make other people feel, putting people under condemnation. And half of you didn't even respect your daddy coming up. Let's just be real. You were just as cantankerous and disobedient as the rest of us. But you're trying to act like everything was all right. We have to help these young black kids coming up right now. They're trying to have them, start their marriage and get right and do things that's right. And we act like we cannot love them unless they're doing everything just right. They have to be exemplary. Everything has to be in order. Oh yeah, now he got his, and they got his place over here. That's why I really like him, because they saved their money. That's why I like them over there, because they really do this. And I like them over there because they really do that. In other words, they have to meet this list of criteria in order for you to like them. Do you know what kind of pressure that is? Do you know what kind of unrealistic pressure that is? They're trying to figure each other out as a young couple. They're trying to figure out what it is to be a mom and to be a dad, because it's organic. I don't care how many books anybody write. It never adds up. The biggest thing you see in life once you have kids is that how your mom and dad raised you, and the things that you can glean from and take from it. The things that you didn't understand, but now you do understand because you're older, and you go, oh, that's why they did that. But by no means we are called to put anyone, especially these young people, under condemnation for trying to do for their family. We need to stop. We have to stop that. We have to grow up. We have to grow up and help our young kids and help them get from point A to point B, and give them advice. We act like church is a tabloid. We'll say, oh, well, you know what they doing over there. I gave them $50 3 weeks ago. $50 3 weeks ago? Listen, hustler. $50, let me tell you what $50 do anymore. I thank you for the $50, but $50 in a household, when people have little kids, when it goes maybe 3 days. Maybe. Depends on what you're eating. Depends on what you're feeding them. So we should help these kids. Set these kids free. Set these kids free by stop putting them under condemnation. False expectations. Tell them, oh, I gave you that. You should be doing something. Anything to talk about them. We do things just to talk about people. That is so corny. That is so played out. That is so immature. Like, why would you do that? And I'm talking to these young folks, and people go, I'm going to give you $200 for the baby to go to school. For the baby to go to school, they ain't got no heat on, no gas on, no electric. And if they spend that money on any of that, I didn't give you that money for that. That's craziness. That's craziness. And I'm setting you guys free tonight. Spend that money on what needs to be spent on in your house. That $200 from 18 years from now ain't gonna mean nothing from today. Oh, I'm gonna put away in the saving. You want everybody to do just the right thing. Man, you have to get your family from point A to point B. Keep rowing that boat, dude. Keep rowing that boat. Folk who ain't got no kids, they don't know. They don't know. And I'm gonna give them a pass. They don't even, I'm gonna say that, I'm gonna tell you the truth. They don't even know, I'll say this. They don't even mean what they're saying. I'm gonna give them a pass. They don't mean what you're saying. Cause not until they forget about, they totally omit that connection that you have to your child that never goes away, that never leaves you. It's more than, I was thinking about you. No, you live on the inside of me constantly, day and night. Constantly, day and night. And you're sitting there thinking, like, how I'm going to do this to get this for my child, I'm going to do this to get that for my child. And all we can do is shoot people down. They had a job over there. What happened? And we always want to be, so hard. But we don't want to answer for the crap that lines up in our own lives. When we should be interceding for us and them. And hoping for this young black couple to make it. Yeah, and I said black. That's who I'm talking about tonight. I'm sorry. Too bad. If it don't apply to you, hey, keep it moving. But it's too much going on. Jobs are being pulled. First to be fired. You know what I mean? Have to be exemplary in all things. No one should have to be exemplary in all things for you to love them. No one should have to be exemplary in all things for you to encourage them. No one should have to be exemplary in all things in order for you to vouch for them. You know, the Bible say don't, and I'm so tired of these job talk. Oh, the Bible said don't co-sign for nobody. Don't borrow. You know, don't let nobody borrow. Half of you how did you get your house? Who bought that house for cash? What's your last name? James? As in LeBron? No. Put it where it is. If you want to be technical about it. People, you know, that's how people buy their house. That's how they buy their car. Somebody loaned you that money. But when it comes to your own family, you don't want to do it for your own fam. Negro, come on. Stop. That's your family. Oh, they didn't pay me back. All right, they didn't pay you back. Then do something to help them to pay you back. I'm telling you, if you really want to be kingdom, come on, I'm kingdom. Let me show you something that God is showing me. And when we talk about the Good Samaritan, look at the Good Samaritan. It was the high priest walked by on the other side. Then the Levite walked by on the other side. You know who that represent? The church leader and the church member. The high priest and the other one walk by on the other side. Because people going to do what you do. Don't set these young people up to do what you're doing to them. Putting them under condemnation. I'm telling you, man, we have to really think and help these young couples out. We have to really help them out. And the way we help them out is don't sweat nobody over no $50 and $100 because you give them some money and you be like, oh yeah, what they do, and going back talking about them. Let me tell you what we're talking about. What it does to people. Let me get my words together. I'm sorry, Lord. What it does to people. You know what it does to people? Your words can't stop the movement of God, but you know what it does stop? When the young people get wind of it, it stops their faith from believing God. That's what your words do. Your words mess with their psyche, and when they get wind of that, you don't believe in them, that you don't trust them, that you think they're a failure, that they can't do better, they can't do better than their dad, their mom, their aunt, their cousins, and they're not getting all A's or B's. What happens is it messes with their mind to believe God. It messes with their faith growth. Everybody wants to say, oh, we're so deep in God. Yeah, you're so deep in God, you can't even get this small stuff I'm saying right now. Because we don't choose to, because it feels better to our flesh to pull people down. It feels better to our flesh just to beat people up. Just keep hitting them. I told them it's going to happen. I told them. Everybody want to be a prophet. I told them. Whatever. Yeah, our country it's in a national deficit for like almost $1 trillion. And we got mathematicians working on our budget. So if mathematicians can't figure it out sometimes, why do you put that same pressure on young folks who are just trying to come up and live? Why? Why? I mean, why do that? So all I'm saying tonight is, man, to the young people, be free. Please be free. Be free. Do the smart thing in your house to make sure your kids are taken care of, because this thing, it's not, I'm not going to call it survival, because we're not, but what I will call it is this, is that you have to do the wise thing in order to go from point A to point B. There's no book for this. I don't care how many books you read, there's really no book for this. There's no real book for raising children. There's not. There's no real book for marriage. There's prayer, there's gleaning, and that's putting your flesh in subjection. That's what it is. We believe in God all the way. So there is hope, but what I'm saying is, set yourself free and stop listening to these folks, all this mess that folks talk, because they talk a lot of stuff that they're not even living. You don't even see the manifestation in their family. They just put together a couple thousand in the bank, and now they want to act like everything has been so smooth for so many years. And because you see, oh, they're on their vacation, they're over there. Oh, these people over there, yeah, you want to be like me, you got to do what's right. Because let me tell you what I do. And it just starts, they really don't help you. So we have to help. So we have to help ourselves by what? By finding somebody we can trust in when we need to pray. And you pray, and you believe the Lord, and you confess what the Lord has said to you about your household, about children, about the blessing of Abraham being upon your life. It's about family. It's about you taking care of your family. Don't let these folks just keep pouring that mess into you. And when your kids act up sometimes, that's what kids do. Nobody don't go around blaming God for what Adam did. How many people blame God for Adam? Nobody. So sometimes your kids just take on a mindset of their own because they may be under pressure. Everything is not a rebellion and they're going against God. Everything it's not about them. Oh, they listen to Beyonce. Oh, they did this. That's why they going through it. Stop. Half of y'all still cursing out folks in y'all head. So it don't matter. You know why? Because that's what's in your heart. So pray for your kids in the same manner you should be praying for yourself. All right, I'm Brother D, guys. I got somebody coming on tomorrow morning. But that's all I really want to say. I ain't talking about no praise hallelujah. Much love. God bless.